Healer tier list for Furina. You know what? We could do that. Tell me if I'm forgoing someone, by the way. Everyone is D tier? Yes, that is exactly what this means. Baizhu? Did I skip Baizhu? No, I wasn't at him yet. You fucking... Okay. Am I missing anyone? Okay. Let's also include characters that can run Proto Amber and it not be a complete meme. So, like, we're not going to include Ning, but we will include Mona. We could think about Yanfei. Maybe Nahida. He's not really a healer. I don't think it counts. Let's start with Diona. Diona is gonna stay in D tier. D for Diona. Diona is not very good with Furina. Because you kind of need more healing than that. Barbara. Barbara's gonna go in C. The main issue with Barbara is all she does is heal. And her ER requirements are going to be a huge pain in the ass to actually reach. But she's fine. She functions. She gives you Hydro Resonance. It's not completely useless. Bennett is actually also going to go in C. Basically with Bennett, it's going to be good, but only in teams that are very quick swappy, right? It'll be pretty bad to run her with Bennett unless you have a team where you're swapping a lot. But Diona too? No, because Diona doesn't heal enough. Because the main issue isn't just that you're not getting as much fanfare, is that Bennett won't heal your off-field characters, which means that Furina won't gain as much damage from her passive, her skill, like passive, that increases damage based on how many characters' HP she's draining. Next, I think Jean goes in S. I think there's still one potential major issue with Jean, which is that when you're swapping a different character for Jean, you're losing out on grouping, and that's a pretty big deal, but it might be enough to make up for it. Qiqi. Qiqi goes in B, I think. I just think there's better options if you just want healers. Oh, I'll get back to Noelle, I forgot. Because all Qiqi does is healing, and there's other healers that heal enough to get all the value out of Furina's passive, but also do something else. So she's not great, but she does heal enough that you won't struggle to get all the healing you need. Barbara does the same job? Not really. In order for Barbara to have enough ER to burst every rotation, your healing has to take a pretty big hit. You have to build so much ER. And if you're not bursting every rotation, it's garbage. Anyways, Noelle is going to go in A. I think Noelle will be very good with Furina. And honestly, she has better synergy with Furina than Jean does. However, she needs to be on-fielded to actually heal, which limits the amount of teams in which she can be played with Furina. You can only play Noelle in Noelle teams. And that's a pretty big downside. Because Noelle doesn't heal unless you're attacking on her. That's not a downside? Yes, it is. What do you mean that's not a downside? In what world is it not a downside to be limited in any way whatsoever? Limitations are downsides. You can think it's worth it. That doesn't make it not a downside. Sayu. So, I think there's a few potential issues with Sayu compared to Jean. Her healing isn't as much overall. It's pretty similar in terms of total healing, but most of it is only to the active character. A pretty significant portion of her healing doesn't heal the whole team, unless you're on-fielding her. And even then, it is somewhat reliant on constellations. Overall, unfortunately, unlike Jean, Sayu is not just press one button, full heal your team, max out your fanfare. Her animations are also more sluggish and slower. Her ER requirements are going to be pretty high because I think she has a con that helps with energy. Yeah, this one. She can get up to like 12 energy from that, but realistically, you're getting like at most fucking maybe 5 procs, maybe 6. Right, so about 8 energy. 7-ish energy. She also, that's not synergy issue, it's just Noelle only works in Mono Geo. Yeah, and that's why I said that they have great synergy together. But she's not S because they're still limited to only Noelle teams. I literally said that. Like, you're not contradicting me. Anyways. But yeah, all of these things considered, overall, Sayu can struggle a little bit. One thing, though, I gotta fucking refresh my mind on a few things. Mainly, I think... this thing might be interesting. You might end up building this instead of Fav, because... it's gonna be hard to get enough crit to reliably proc Fav. With Jean, you can use Amenoma. With Sayu, you can probably use this. Yeah, because you want a healing bonus circlet, right? So... that can potentially be an issue. But, yeah. Maybe you use Sack instead, I'm not sure. In any case, Sayu's gonna be alright. Downgrade to Jean for sure. Better than Qiqi for sure is also. I think in around the middle of A tier is where I'd end up putting her. Alright, next up, Kokomi. I'm gonna put Kokomi in A. And it's honestly a pretty similar reason to why Noelle is in A. Which is that I don't think she really heals enough as an off-field healer to be all that great with Furina. Which means that you'd only really want to play her in teams where you can afford field time on Kokomi. She'd be above Noelle for sure. Although, yeah, maybe she heals enough with Proto Amber, actually. But here's the thing, okay? No one builds enough ER on their Kokomi. Right? It's something that once you notice it once, you'll notice it everywhere. Nobody has enough ER on their Kokomi. Literally no one. A Kokomi with enough ER doesn't exist. Kokomi's ER requirements are pretty high. Although, to be fair, if you're playing her with Furina, you have double Hydro, so your Hydro Particle generation is going to be more. Yeah, okay. You know, I think because of Proto Ember, she makes it to S. That's fair. That's fair, that's fair. Kuki! Okay, so Kuki has similar issues to Bennett, but unlike Bennett, she keeps healing when your characters are above 70%, which means you can at least trigger Furina's passive. That when you overheal your active character. And so because of that, she'd be a little bit higher, and I'll put her in B. Alright, next up, Mika. Mika is gonna go in A. Mika, I don't think can really make it to S, because I don't think he offers enough for a team. Right? But When it comes to healing, he has a lot of it. He has healing for the whole team, and he has healing to the active character, which is going to make it so that you're not going to be at 50% HP on your carry when you're attacking enemies. I think Mika is fine. He's definitely low A, because there's other options that tend to do more, like Jean. But because he heals the whole team when you burst, and he heals a lot, the whole team, I think he can be an A. He needs the active character to do physical damage to heal. Wait, does he? Is that true? I didn't know that. Is that... Oh my god. I didn't actually know that. Wait. No. That's not true? Oh, okay. That's not true. That's why I didn't know that, because you lied to me. What the fuck? Bro just lied to me. What the fuck? The continuous healing? Yeah, the continuous healing. When the normal attack of active character hit an opponent, Mika will help them regenerate HP. Not when physical damage hits opponents. When normal attacks. To be fair though...
Imagine if it is true.
To be fair...
Down straight to DTLML.
True. To be fair... Let's just say that when normal attacks hit... doesn't actually mean when normal attacks hit. So, I can't blame anyone for misunderstanding this one. Dori! Here's the thing, C6 Dori would be like B, but no one has C6 Dori, so she goes in D tier. Dori just doesn't do enough. Baizhu! So here's the problem with Baizhu. His ER requirements, if you can't E twice per rotation on him, are like so omega high.
More like doesn't do shit.
True. They're like so insanely high. You only need 274 ER, yeah, only 274. But he is very good if you can reach them. That's it, only 274. Yeah, but unlike a character like Farazan, he pretty much, in teams where you'll be playing with Furina, you're gonna need him on Deepwood. You can't go 2-piece emblem like you can with Farazan. Also, you're on Proto Amber, not on Fav. Right? You're not getting that 60% ER from Fav, you have to find it from somewhere else. To be fair, it does depend on how much energy the rest of your team generates, but... Anyways, point being, you will need a fuck ton of ER. Or you'll need to be able to do 2 E's per rotation. But if you can reach it, he's really good. I think he goes top of A tier. Actually, no, I think he goes bottom S. Simply because there's no Pyro healer that's better than him. And there's no Electro healer that's better than him. So, when you want to play Dendro-related teams, it's basically just between him and Yao Yao for your healer slot. You can do Kokomi as well, I guess. But, eh. Next, Yao Yao. Yao Yao's ER requirements are a lot lower, but in exchange she has to spend more time on field. She also applies less off-field Dendro. I think she is below Baizhu, generally, with Furina. But very close to him. I would put her top of A tier. Charlotte! The recent nerf makes me fucking doomium for Charlotte, I'm gonna be honest. The nerf is pretty bad. What do they change? They remove the short hold interaction. Now if you short hold, you only get tap particles, not hold particles. So her ER requirements are gonna be a lot higher. Which means, realistically, you're gonna have to run her on Fav or Proto Ember, most likely, in almost every team. And you're not gonna be able to have the flexibility of being able to run TTDS. That's not always an issue, but it definitely can be an issue. In some teams, you're also going to need to go ER Sands plus 5, which further decreases the amount of healing that she does. I think overall she's worse than Mika. But you can on-field her for stuff like Hyperfridge with Furina, which might be enough to bring her over Mika. Plus, Mika's fucking cringe, so let's put her above, yeah. Next, we'll have the 3 fake healers. So, Mona is interesting. I think with the Furina changes that we've had, it kind of incentivizes you, or it makes it a little bit less synergistic to run Proto Amber Mona, because you'll spend a lot more time with your characters not above 50%, and you lose a decent amount of damage on Furina because of that. Another pretty big issue is that you're not actually going to full heal, which means your characters are going to be pretty fragile basically all the time, which can be an issue as well. I think mainly because of that, I'm going to put her in C. Yanfei is a shielder, which already helps alleviate one of Mona's weaknesses, but I don't think there's that many teams where you really care about getting a pyro unit in there, especially one that has no real off-field presence. So unfortunately, I think she stays in D. And then finally, Nahida. The thing is, Nahida's really good, right? Like, that's the main thing. How is Barbara worse than Mona while she can hold Prototype Amber plus heal? Because Mona also does another thing that tends to be kind of useful, which is be useful for the team outside of the healing. That tends to matter, generally. Unironically, I think Nahida's not that bad. I'm going to put her bottom B. I think the main thing is there's going to be teams where you run Nahida plus Kuki, and both of their, like, Proto Amber and Nahida plus Kuki, if you put those 2 healing things together, it's going to be enough. And it's, like, they're going to hold hands to prop each other up into A. Everybody hold hands. No. Everyone hold hands. But yeah. This is what I expect. Very cool.